Good morning, my beautiful, beautiful diamonds. SheilaTruelove here with you. And today I want to talk about trauma bonding and how so many people, they mix that up and they're confused with what is trauma bonding, codependency, fear of being alone, and they confuse that with love. Now, I know what love is. I already know what love is. And I'm not talking about the way it's described in the Bible where it says love is patient, love is kind, love is not jealous, that's a perfect love. And since we're not perfect people, we're not going to get that correct. We're not going to measure up to that ever until we are perfect people. Now, what I do know that we can measure up to is love is when you have healthy boundaries set in place and your partner or your friends or family, they respect those boundaries. That's love. Love is also Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. Very simple. Don't do to others what you don't want done to you. Do to others what you want done to you. Isn't that called the golden rule? That's love. But I'm going to share with you what is trauma bonding. And these are 5 signs that it's a trauma bond, not love. And this is coming from Katie Martin, and she's a professional. So listen in. Katie, Kati, Martin, Morton, in case you want to check out her channel. I always try to support other people because there's enough for all of us to eat. Each one teach one. And I believe in sharing.
Feel like love because it may be the only connection we've experienced. And I think we can all agree that love is often talked about in a way that's not real or relatable, which is why we can find ourselves in relationships with people and not realize that what we're feeling isn't love. It's actually trauma bonding. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I talk about anxiety, ADHD, eating disorders, and really anything mental health related. So if you'd like to subscribe, we would love to have you. I promise you'll always leave with some helpful information for you or for someone that you love. And subscribing really helps creators keep doing what we do. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. Trauma bonding is an unhealthy attachment that we can form with our abuser. This usually happens in toxic or abusive relationships, but it can also happen in families, at church, with friends. It most commonly occurs when the relationship we are in follows what's known as a cycle of abuse, meaning that when someone harms us physically, sexually, or emotionally, so that's the abuse state, then we move into the next stage, which is called the honeymoon phase. And that's kind of like love bombing. They tell us they love us, they're so sorry, they never meant to hurt us, it won't happen again, they would die without us, and go on and on and on. And this love bombing and manipulation can confuse the person who was abused, and it can make us think that they really didn't mean to hurt us, and they do love us. Now, over time, this cycle of getting hurt and then being told that they love and care for us can lead to us becoming attached to our abuser, even feeling bad for them and feeling deep affection for them, which is why it can be so hard for us to leave. We can also trauma bond as a way to prevent any further abuse from happening to us, just like the fawn response, which, if you're not familiar, is another form of fight, flight, and freeze. But fawning is when we people please so that they won't hurt us again. And it's really our attempt at taking control back from our abuser in order to protect ourselves. Since trauma bonding can often be confused with love, let's jump into the 5 signs that what we're experiencing is in fact trauma bonding and not love. Number 1, we are enmeshed. Meaning that there aren't any healthy boundaries in our relationship. How they feel is how we feel. And we can find ourselves putting their needs above our own and needing them to make decisions for us, or at least weighing in on them. We can even struggle to do things on our own, see our own friends, and focus on our own personal growth. Number 2 is if they have ever abused us. Physically, sexually, emotionally, even if they said it wouldn't happen again or gave excuses for why they did it. I was really tired, I had a bad day, Healthy relationships have mutual respect and are physically and emotionally safe. If you don't have those things in your relationship, you may want to consider ending that relationship. Number 3, we are codependent. Now, codependency happens a lot in relationships where addiction is present because one person is the addict and the other person is addicted to caring for them. In this case, we can feel that our only purpose or the only way that we are deserving of love is if we care for the other person, even when it puts us in danger. We can feel like our only value is in being the caretaker or the fixer, and this can allow the person to keep doing what they do. When it comes to trauma bonds specifically, we can want the relationship to continue at any cost because our identity can be wrapped up in them. Or we can think so little of ourselves that we believe we aren't anything without them. And so we do what we need to do to keep them happy. Number 4, they don't like us seeing our friends or family. If someone ever tries to tell you that your friends or family are bad for you, they don't deserve you, or they act upset when you make time to see them, get out of there. Sure, I know we can have one friend or a family member that isn't the best, or maybe they've said hurtful things. But we should never feel like we can't have our own life and see people on our own. A huge component of narcissistic abuse is that they try to isolate us from everyone else so that they have complete control.
That's right.
And we don't have a way out. You should feel free to have your own life, and you just enjoy having them in it. And finally, number 5 is gaslighting. Does your partner constantly tell you that you remembered something wrong? Or that you're crazy? That's not how it happened. Or do they deny or try to minimize the pain that they've caused you? Or maybe they even try to tell you that it was your fault. This is a form of manipulation and can cause us to attach even more tightly to our abuser because we don't think we can trust our own mind or memory. We can all forget things from time to time, sure. But if they are consistently putting us down, telling us that we're making things up, it's possible you're being gaslit.
Now, what
I
does
know it can
love
be
look
hard to
like?
know what love looks like, especially if we've been in an abusive relationship or have past trauma. But remember, loving relationships allow us to be ourselves, have our own life, and enjoy the addition of another person in it. It is supportive, respectful, and encourages us to do more of what we love. Healthy relationships have clear boundaries, open communication, and trust. If we only get affection and kind words after we've been hurt, you may want to rethink your relationship because it could be trauma bonding, not love. If any of this sounds like your relationship, please find a trauma therapist in your area or online. The sooner we start talking to someone about this, the sooner we will feel able to leave and heal from the abuse. Know that you are all deserving of real love and support, and don't settle for less.
Now you'll notice here how my face, I have this huge smile on my face, and the reason I have that smile is because there is a way out. You know, I don't think I had trauma bond, not too much. I love Gregory with everything that I was, you know, and that hurt so bad, so bad. Oh my God, I never felt a pain like that in my life. It was killing me. At the same time, I knew I had to leave. And even though I wasn't strong enough to do it, but guess who was strong enough to do it? Jehovah God, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. And they gave me, put thoughts in my head and in my heart. And when my mind and my heart is in unison and they agree with each other, I do what I have to do. There's not that much trauma bonding. I know what trauma bonding is like. It's like a drug addiction. It's like your heroin or your crack or crystal meth or whatever else is a heavily addicted drug. And it's hard to break free from that. And it was hard for me. At the same time, what I could not do, and I will never do, is allow someone to treat me badly. Because then after a while, it turns to anger. It goes past hurt, and now it's anger. Because I am a hard-working woman. When I'm with a man, honey, I bend over backwards. I walk through fire. I jump through hoops. I work hard. Because I keep thinking about the Proverbs 31, capable and perfect wife. So I would read Proverbs 31 once a month. And I would do my checklist. Am I doing this? Check. Am I doing that? Check. And when it still wasn't working, and they cheated on me, oh baby, you know, I think I've made it very clear all throughout my channel. If you ever talk to SheilaTruelove, you don't get to roll the dice twice when you cut my throat with betrayal. You stab me in my back. No. Trust is gone. At the same time, breaking away from Gregory even though he cheated. Yeah, that was hard. But when I kept focusing more on the bad things, looking the pros and the cons, and I see that there was more cons than pros. And first of all, I don't care about no pros and cons. You cheated. You know what I said? You did cutthroat on me. No, no, no. Or anytime you disrespect me, I'm not feeling none of that either. I can put up with that, but for so long. Screw a trauma bond. Because trauma bonding, it means that you want the relationship to continue at any cost. You don't care about that. No, I can't do it. And I tried. Lord knows Jesus is my witness. I tried to put up with this. Oh, no. People pleasing. You go around. I know someone who's in a trauma bond right now, a family member, and she's in a trauma bond. She thinks it's love, but no, it's not love. Anytime you have someone who tries to separate you from your family and your friends so that you won't have any support, or they don't want you to have a way out, and that's why they don't want you with family and friends. And anytime you deal with your family or your friends, guess what's going to wait for her? The silent treatment, the manipulation, the abuse. So she cuts off her family and her friends. He don't mind her having friends as long as they're going to support him. But anyway, that's another video. So, and there's times when a person is in these relationships and they keep catering to the person and trying to people please this person so that they won't hurt them again. I've been through that crap too, where you're constantly bending over backwards doing for this person, and the only time they know how to be nice to you is when you're giving them something or you're doing something for them. And that gets me angry after a while too. My son is like me. That freaks him out. My son came out to be like me. My daughter is more like her father. She's more like, her dad. And Lewis came out to be like me and my grandmother. And when it comes to people abusing us, oh, hell no. And my son, he believes in reciprocity. 100%. Yeah, I'm pouring into you. You damn sure better be pouring back into me. Check out his channel, L-Majesty, and you'll understand where I'm coming from. Yeah, honey, but when it comes to this trauma bonding, people are confusing it with love. It's not love, baby. Because number one, you can't possibly love anyone genuinely until you love yourself. And if you really love yourself, you're not going to put up with someone abusing you constantly. You're not going to put up with someone who have no respect, no regard for your boundaries. You let them know this is something that if you want us to get along, isn't that what boundaries are set or put in place for? We set up boundaries because we want to get along with the other person. Now, if you cross my boundaries and you make a practice out of it, and not even, I believe in 3 strikes, you're out. The first time you messed up because people are imperfect. The second time you screw up, I'm going to give you another reminder. You got one more time to cross my boundaries or to disrespect me, and I'm going to have to show you better than I can tell you. How about that? Am I making myself clear? If there's something that I said that you didn't understand, let me know. What part of this don't you understand? And you have to have those meetings. I believe in once a week. You have a meeting every Saturday. Get together with your partner or your family, and we're going to have a meeting to make sure that everything is clear. Do you have any kind of things that you are not happy or pleased with me? Let me know so I can make some, fix some, whatever I can fix up. As long as it's within reason. Maybe I have to make some adjustments. Okay, I have no problem with that. It's called humility. No problem with that. And then when I bring something to your attention, because everybody needs a reminder every now and again, yeah, please show me that you take what I'm saying into consideration, or that you adhere to what I'm saying to you. So like I said, you just heard this. She's a mental health professional, and she's licensed in the United States. Her name is Katie, Kati Morton, Morton. And the beauty of life and the day and age that we live today is to get the healing that you need and the counseling or the therapy, you don't even have to leave the comfort of your home. They have, like me, I'm an advice coach. I'm a paid advice coach. People blow up my emails. People blow up with texts. And once the money is deposited, and I do work on a donation basis. Like I just had somebody send me $2.22. Did I take it? Yes, I did. Because if that's all they can afford, that's all they can afford. But you have other counselors who they got some like $100 an hour, $85 an hour, or $75 an hour. I don't do that because I don't know what people's financial situation is. And they need to talk to someone. They really need help. Am I codependent? No. You know who I like to associate myself with? Have you ever watched this show? It's called Highway to Heaven. And the other show called Touched by an Angel. Now these individuals, they come into your life when you have a problem. And by means of God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, you know, it's like God sent you to these people. And you help them with their problem, and then you move on. And that's the way I see myself. That's the way I want to be. I want to be like the highway to heaven and touched by an angel. And that's why I set up my practice on a donation basis. So when anyone call me, I prefer emails. I do, because I get to do so much more research for you, and I will give you a thorough answer. And you have to understand, darling, when it comes to life, it's rough. Good people suffer just as much as the bad people. But when you put your trust in Jehovah and Jesus Christ to do the best for you, you don't have to worry. They're going to pull you up out of that mess. If you have a pure and an honest heart and you're a lover of the truth, Jesus is coming for you, baby. He's coming for you. He's going to rescue you through other people. He's going to send the right people to you by means of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is going to guide the right people to come to you to help get you out of this trauma bonding. Not love. It's a trauma bond. Jesus got you. So you have to ask Jehovah in prayer and talk to Jesus and ask them for peace and ask them for help in your situation. And don't worry about it. After you put it in God's hands and you talk to Jesus about it, don't take the work, take it back. Because when you worry, that implies that you don't trust that Jesus and Jehovah are big enough, powerful enough, or loving enough to take care of you and to get you out of this trauma bonding or this codependency or this fear of being alone. Jesus is coming for you if you have a pure, honest heart and you're a lover of the truth. I love you, my darlings. My beautiful diamonds. I just dropped some diamonds on you right now. Diamonds, diamonds.